high availability part will start about this one here. High availability. HANA high availability. HSR replication. So what is this mean by high availability here? So this high availability ensure that the database remain accessible without interruption, even if the one node or server got fails, even though the database is accessible here. So it uses the clustering, maybe storage replication, so monitoring to provide the automatic failover and everything here, right? But to perform the automatic failover, the clustering is required here. So for this one, what we required for HANA replication concept. So here we required the two hosts are required. Two hosts are required, same SID, same instance number on the two separate hosts. We have to do the HANA installation here, right? So here we see someone already corrupted the DB on the primary. So already they have corrupted and they have done it already. So then again we have to do the reinstallation of the database on the the main host here, right? So I'm doing the underscore file. People are asking them to practice the SAP HANA related thing, but they are practicing on the installations, uninstallations, and all those things. Even though I told multiple times, I don't know. Again, we have to install the HANA DB, and so we have to do this kind of work again. So we have the two hosts. One is the KPS4 HANA. Second one is the KPS4 HANA. So two. We have the two operating systems we have. Why? Because HANA, the HSR replication, we require the two operating systems here. So we have the second operating system. Let's start the second operating system. Let's see whether it will start or not. I'm starting the second operating system. So two operating systems we have. So one is getting started. The second one is getting, so one is getting installed. The second one is getting started here. So meanwhile, what we do here, we'll do the how to uh, configure the HSR replication here. How to configure the HSR replication here. See here, the second one started already. Okay, the second one started already here, right? So both the host, the primary and secondary. One host we have to make it as a primary. One host we have to make it as a secondary here, right? So let's make KPS4 HANA 2. We will make it as a KPS4 HANA 2. We will make it as a secondary, and another one we will make it as a another one we can make it as a primary. We can make it out here, right? So that's what we have to do that one here. So it is running, you can see. So in this post also this is running here, right? So let's check the version here. It's in the HANA 2.0 SPS08. So both are 8 only here, right? So here also, so it is getting installed here as well. So ping command will help you to do the connection test from the one host to another host here. So that's what I'm doing the testing here. So this is working. The ping command is working here. So now what we are going to do now, right? We are going to configure the replication here, HANA high availability replication here. So how to perform the high availability replication here, right? So here what we have to do on the so HANA should be installed or up and running, running on both the hosts, means both the operating systems, KBS4 HANA, KBS4 HANA 2. Then it should be same SID and same instance number. Okay, why? Because so HANA one primary one host failure, one database is not available, another database is available. So the replication will happen at DB level to replicate the data from the primary to the secondary here, right? So that's why so same SID, same instance number we have to install it here, right? Then so copy the SSFS keys from the so primary server primary to the secondary here, right? There is a SSF keys, so that is available in the slash USR SAP SID, right? So HDB, right? Instance number, right? So here, so HDB instance number sys sys global, sys global, so HDB custom, so HDB here, so the location of the SSF keys are available from here. We need to copy the keys here. We need to copy the keys here, right? So then restart the secondary after keys copy to see whether the secondary is coming up or not secondary. So coming up or not. Sometimes so it's not coming up here, means it will be stopped status here. Then we need to troubleshoot it here. Then enable replication on primary. Then register 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 secondary on so primary, and provide the details here. You need to provide the replication modes, and so the replication modes and the operation modes we have to provide it here during the registration of the secondary. In this case, so you have to stop the secondary should be stopped status here, means so second HANA system should be stopped status here, Why? Because then only we can register the secondary into primary status here. These are the replication steps here. How to configure the replication from the primary to secondary, means whatever the data you change in the primary, automatically it will go to the secondary HANA system also here. For that one, what are the configuration steps we have to perform it here? Register the secondary and the primary, provide the replication modes and operational modes here. So once done it, then perform the testing scenario here. This is what we have to do that one here. So similarly, we have the one primary HANA system we have, and secondary HANA system also we have. Two separate hosts we have here. Okay. So two separate hosts we have here. One is the KPS4 HANA. The second one is called the KPS4 HANA 2. KPS4 HANA 2 here, right? We are the two separate hosts we have here, right? So what will happen? So our applications always connect to the virtual IP here, right? This virtual IP will point to the primary HANA server as well as the secondary HANA server also. It will point out here, right? So then all the applications, your SAP applications or everything here, this will point to the virtual IP here. This will point to the virtual IP here, right? So then what will happen here in the primary HANA system here? You have that is connected to the primary. Then there is a replication. We have to enable it here. The replication will transfer the data from the primary HANA system to secondary HANA host here. This is called the replication here. This replication we are enabling here. This replication we are enabling here. So in this replication, whatever the data changes or happens here, immediately it will go to the secondary also here via replication modes and operation modes here. So here, so SAP system primary is up and it replicated to the secondary also here, right? KPS4 and KPS4 2 here, right? So whenever the primary, it will go to the secondary also here. Then in this case, what we have to do? So in this case, what we have to do? So in case of this is down, immediately it will be available this one as well. Data syncing. So it will be up here, right? Automatic failover. We have to do the clusters concept here. OS level, they are the cluster tools. We have to install it. That will be done by the your operating system team, so that automatically the failover will happen here. So we can configure the HANA replication between the both the host here, primary and secondary host. We can configure it here, right? So this is installed here, right? So both are installed, both are in the same version, so same SID. So different OS operating systems we have here, right? So then we need to do the connectivity test from the, so connectivity test. We have to perform the connectivity test primary to secondary. We need to do the connectivity test here. So if you execute KPS4 and 2, then it will should do the ping command, right? So then primary to secondary, then secondary to primary, we need to execute the ping commands. Then you should get the reply response from them, so that the connection test is working fine here, right? So then if it is working, then we need to log into the HANA Studio level. We can do the configuration, as well as we can also do the operating system level also. We can perform the configuration. Operating system level also we can perform the configuration also here, right? So we have to prepare the first primary, install the HANA on the both the servers here, primary and secondary. Ensure the HANA version patch level, and also the file systems backups and everything should be same here. So here we have the, this is the KPS4 HANA. This is the primary here. We have the same version. We have the same SID, same instance number. We have the secondary. In the secondary also, I think we have the, yes. So we have the, in the secondary also we have the, so it is working same SID, and secondary also KPS4 and 2. It is working here, right? So now what we have to do? We need to enable the replication on the primary side here. Primary side we have to enable it here. So normally as soon as we install it, we have to take the backup. Otherwise the replication will ask the backup here, right? So before that we discussed we need to exchange the keys from primary to secondary here, right? So then I can connect it to the KPS4 HANA. So in the KPS4 HANA primary, so we need to go to the USR SAP, then SID, inside of the SAP SIS and global, right? Global security. We have to go to the RSC SSF keys. Here we need to copy the data and keys. We have to copy it here. Data and this keys we have to copy it here. This keys we have to copy it here. Then we need to move to the, so KPS4 HANA 2. KPS4 HANA 2, we have to copy it here, right? So then for because successful authentication purpose, we need to copy the keys from primary to secondary here. Primary to secondary, we need to copy it here, right? SIS, so global, right? So security and SSF keys. So from here, copy, right? It is copied here. Okay, it is so copied. We have copied from files from here to here, right? So data and keys, we have copied these files to the here, right? So this we have copied here, right? So once that this is copied here, then we need to so start the replication here. And the primary, this is the primary, this is the secondary. That's why I make it as a secondary here. In the primary, right click and go to the configure the system replication here. So then we need to open the HDB ADM and the password we have to provide it here. So then it will ask the enable the primary here, right? Enable the primary here. In the primary, we need to enable the system replication here, right? So site name here. Site name we have to provide the, it's like a primary PRI. But here, you see, you need to take the backup here. Backup, we have to perform it on the primary side here. So without backup, so the replication will not be there here. So then, so I am taking the backups here. Okay. So complete backup, full backup I am taking here. So system DB and Internet DB backup I'm taking here in the same location. So right click, configuration and monitoring, and there is a configure the system replication. So why we have to do the replication means in case of primary is not available, then the secondary HANA server will take place without avoiding the downtime and everything here, right? So primary, then click on the next button, click on the finish. Then, so primary will be enabled here. Then log into the secondary. So then we need to do the replication. But while doing the registering the secondary into primary, we need to stop the secondary HANA server here, right? HDB stop. So it will stop the database here. It will stop the replication mode here. It will configure the, it will stop the this one here, right? So that's what I am doing now here. Okay, it is stopped here. So then I'm registering the secondary, right click, then only it will tell you register the secondary. Otherwise, if without stopping, you cannot do it here. So we need to stop the secondary here, right? So here, so I am opening, then you will get the option. You will get the option like register. So primary you have enabled it here, right? Secondary you need to register into the primary site here. Secondary you have to register into the primary here. Then so
You started from here only, the secondary, or from console?
secondary we need to register from the console only.
Uh,
So console level, so multiple ways we can do that this replication configuration. One is the HANA Studio level, operating system level, commands, then HANA Cockpit level also we can use to the commands here. So multiple ways.
no, I'm asking here. You started secondary from studio. You started, or
Secondary OS level we started, right? We executed the
okay.
command HDB start and
Mhm.
HDB stop. Operating system level we can stop it. Studio level also we can stop it. So multiple ways.
Okay.
Let me close and open HANA Studio since it is stopped. So let me open again. Okay. So secondary. Then right click, configure the system replication. It will ask the HDB ADM. Then we can provide the password of the HDB ADM. Then we will get the one prompt here. In that prompt, we have to provide the details about the replicate primary details and secondary details. We have to create it here. So those details we need to provide it here. So we have, while registering, we need to provide the details actually, like what replication modes, what operation modes you need to select it here, right? While registering, then we have to provide these details here. So here, so they are the some replication. There are the three replication modes and two operation modes we have in the HANA databases here, right? So while registering, so it will ask the please provide the HANA replication modes here. Replication modes here. Here we have the three replication modes here. One is the sync. The second one is the sync mem. The third one is called the async here, right? They are the three replication modes we have here, right? So what is mean by sync replication means? Sync means the primary commit the transaction only after the secondary confirm it received it, right? Which means primary keep on sending the data to the primary. So primary keep on sending the data to the secondary. Then once the secondary is received, and it will send the acknowledgement back to the primary saying that I received the transaction, then only the primary will commit the transaction here. Primary will commit the transaction here, which means to consistency, both the consistency purpose, we have the this configuration here, right? So in this way, there is no zero data loss. But higher waits for the secondary. Mean primary will wait for the secondary to confirm it. Then only the primary will commit the transaction here. It is used for the local HA, same data center. That time will use the synchronous replication here, right? Sync replication here, right? So then async means here, this is the file system level, means data folder level, it will be replicated here. Mem means memory level, it will be replicated here, right? Primary commit the transaction, this is also same, right? In the memory, data received in the memory, but before writing to the disk here, means before writing to the from main memory to disk. So once the data received to the main memory in the secondary, the primary will commit the transaction. Then, so in this way, we don't have the faster than disk. Why? Because so this is the faster than sync mem is faster than sync here. Why? Because this has to go memory to disk, then memory to disk, then only the primary will commit the transaction here, right? Then if you go with the sync mem here, with faster than disk, almost there is no data loss. If only both the systems are crashed simultaneously, then there is a data loss here, right? So used for the low latency HA setup here, right? So both the sync data will be sent to the your data will be sent to the primary to secondary. So in the memory level, so in the if the memory level it is sending, then it's called the sync mem. Only disk storage level it is sending, that is called the sync memory sync here, right? They are the replication modes and operational modes. We need to choose it here during the registering the secondary into primary. See, registering the secondary into primary. So we need to choose the this replication modes, right? So site name secondary. Then we have the replication mode sync mem and async here. So we need to choose the this replication modes here, right? So then so sync means sync mem. So primary will wait for the response from the secondary. Then only it will commit. Okay. So in case of memory level, it will wait, and disk storage level, it will wait here. So then asynchronous means primary commit the transaction without waiting the secondary confirmation, right? Best performance and low latency, but possibly there is a data loss. If the primary crashes before the replication reaches to the secondary, there is a data loss here. Used for the long distance DR site, DR disaster recovery mechanism site. So long distance, if you have that time, we will use the asynchronous mechanism here, right? So in case of so production live, then we will use the either sync or sync memory. We can use it here, right? So this is the replication modes here, right? And we have the two operational modes also available here. One is the so delta data shipping here, delta data shipping here. That is the one of the thing here. The second one is called the log replay mechanism here. Log replay mechanism here. So what is mean by delta data shipping here? Delta data shipping. So here it is initially full data shipping here. After that, the log replay plus delta data shipping. Delta means whatever the delta changes are happened, the delta shipping at regular intervals, it will do it here. It will reduce the network usage, but secondary not fully in sync, right? So why? Because it's only delta, right? After that log replay. So, and plus delta data shipping at regular intervals, it will do it here, right? So log replay means continuously, continuously the secondary logs will be replayed on the primary to secondary here. It's like a near real time sync, faster takeover, recommended for the HADR scenario, HADR setup. The log replay, everybody will use the log replay only. Why? Because continuously the data logs will be replayed on the secondary. Then it's a near real time synchronous, the faster takeover, and it's recommended for the HADR setup here, right? So this delta data shipping in the name itself, delta changes will happen at regular intervals here, right? So then this is the continuously the logs will be replayed here. So here sync mem and operational modes, you can choose the log replay. Then you can provide the source details here. So KPS4 HANA, the initial the full data shipping here. Then click on the next button, click on the finish. Then the secondary will be registered into the primary. If everything is okay, the secondary will be registered into the primary here, right? So secondary will be registered into the primary here. Otherwise, we may face the issues here. We can check it out. We can go to the HANA Studio level. Here, if you go to the, so in the overview tab here, we can see that whether the data is replicating or not. We will come to know all the information. You can see the all the services are active, but in sync here. We go to the landscape tab. There is a system replication. So here you can see the so full delta is replicating. Full data is replicating here. There are the three replication modes are active. One is the primary, secondary replication mode is sync, and active state initializing. One is the getting the replicated. All the data is getting replicated here, right? So primary PRA and secondary, right? So it is starting. You can see last log position here. So last log position and shipped log position 59650368368. This is also getting replicated. Now this is getting replicated. So logs replay, how many logs are getting replayed on the secondary and the primary. So you can see the all the information here, right? So this is getting replicated here. See, all are active, right? So all are active status here, right? So now all the services are in sync. and active status means the data is getting replicated from primary to secondary here, right? So this is the primary, the secondary host is this is the one. So you can see the logs and everything here. But the thing is, secondary will not be available for the operations now. Why? Because secondary will only receive the data from the primary only. Will receive only data from primary only here. So there is no SQL access. There is no database not available for the users here. Why? Because it's secondary. You cannot directly do the changes in the secondary now. Only primary you can do the changes here. That's we will call it as the here, right? So now what you can check the logs also how the data is replicating. You can go to the system level. You can check the index server trace or anything. So the replication, you can observe it here, how the replication is happening. So replicating the data. So all the log replay mechanism, you can see the synchronous enforced the merges into the here. You can see the data replication. So all the information you can see it here, the logs replay and everything here, right? So data will receive from primary to secondary here, right? That is what it is happening. So if you do any changes in the primary now, suppose like in primary, so you have the suppose like you are going to create the some users here. Suppose example, I'm going to create the some users in the primary here. That is in the KPS4 HANA 2. Suppose like some users I'm going to create it here. Right? So one of the user I created here in the primary KPS4 HANA, right? The similar changes are available in the secondary also. Secondary also, the similarly, the changes will be available in the secondary also. Why? Because the data is continuously replicating. The data is continuously, it is replicating from primary to secondary in memory level here. So definitely the data should be available in the secondary also here. To test this one, we cannot test it now. Only thing is we need to do the failover testing. Failover means we need to make it now. This is like a main primary. This is like a secondary. When I do the failover, this will become a primary. This will become a secondary here. Then how to do this kind of failover testing here? Then what we have to do? We need to so we need to right click, go to the configure the system replication here. There is an option is called the failover. Failover means manual failover here. So in case of if you have the cluster tools are available, automatic failover will happen here, right? So failover here. Not in the secondary, we need to make it as a configure the system replication. So now data is replicated. Definitely it should be replicated. Why? Because it's showing the green. Now perform the takeover. Perform the takeover here, which means the primary will become secondary. Now secondary will become the primary. It's performing the takeover. Takeover is running here. Means we are doing the manual failover here. Manual failover here, which means this will become a active status here. Then this will become a inactive status. Inactive status means so that now whatever the data is there, right? Similar data available in the here as well. Here also here similar data here also it is available here. So we can observe it here, right? Once the failover takeover fully ready, fully done here, then we can do the testing here. We can do the testing here. That's we can do it here, right? So it's see here. So in the disaster recovery, so it's trying to reconnect to the primary, right? Trying to reconnect to the primary here, right? So trying to reconnect it, then it will have failover will happens here, right? That's what it will happen in the system. See here, the logs are finished reprocessing the save log, tracking the new throughput statistics, then the replication, backup catalogs. So takeover in progress here. The logs are getting updated. Drop it will be recreated again. So performing the takeover. Takeover means the secondary will become a primary. So then, so you can see the whatever the changes we have, you can see the all the changes and everything here, right? That's what it will happen in the systems here. So it is replicating, you can see. So then once everything is available, so then we can able to log in. We can log into the, so we can log into the secondary. We can validate the changes also. I think it's done, right? So it's done. So then what we can do, we can log in now here. Just log it and just log in and see whether we can able to log in or not here. Okay. Why? Because the passwords also it's same as like primary. Okay. Why? Because so now data got everything got replicated. So now see here secondary is available with the green mark. We can go to the security. So we can go to the security and so we can see the all the changes and everything here. All the whatever the user you created, all the changes are available in the secondary also here, right? So this way we can do the estimation. You can also so connect to the new user, whatever the user you created, so you can also connect it to the new user also here, right? See here, you connected to the new user also in the secondary, right? Ravi, you created the new user, but that is only you created in the primary. But now you connected to the KPS4 HANA 2 also, you logged in. Then how you logged in? Because of your user exists in the secondary also. Your user exists in the secondary also here. How it got exist means the replication. You done the replication here. Replication has been done here. That's why we can able to see the all the information and everything here, right? So that is the main important thing here. Okay. So means whatever the changes, whatever it have, so all will be replicated from the primary to secondary here. So unfortunately, in case of any, so we can also disable it here. We can also disable it here, ignore the secondary system. So then we can also disable the replication configurations and everything here, right? That is also we can perform it. Then again, we can do the reconfiguration. So the only thing is while registering secondary into primary it's simple directly we can increase, we can implement it here. But only thing is the secondary, while registering the secondary into primary, we need to provide the replication modes and operational modes. You have to provide it here. Replication modes and operational modes you have to provide it here, right? Sync means so primary will send the data to the secondary. Primary will send the data to the secondary. The secondary will send the acknowledgement back to the primary. Then only primary will commit. Then primary will send the another transaction. Then like that the series. So it makes sure primary and secondary both are in sync here, right? So in case of if you use the DR asynchronous mode, then so primary will not bother about my secondary received the transaction or not. It keep on sending the data. In case of failover happens, there is a data loss activities here. That's why the production, any one of the mode, the DR we can choose the this one here, right? And the log replay is the option to choose the continuously the logs will be replayed on the secondary side here. This is the way the HANA the replication will work from the primary to the secondary here. Now make sure here same SID, same instance number should we create. Then once everything is up and running, we need to exchange the keys here. We need to exchange the keys here in the security tab, global security. So then here, then we need to enable the replication. We need to register the secondary into primary. So we need to provide this modes and we can do the testing here. Like that, we have to perform the testing and everything here. Okay, this is the configuration about the replication and replication modes here. So most of the DR scenario also will do the same, but for DR we need to use the asynchronous we have to use here. Remaining and all same, for DR we need to use the async mode here. So here you should know about the what modes we have to select for the primary, what modes we have to select for the DR disaster recovery scenario here. Right? So that is the main important thing here, PR scenario. Think and asynchronous mode we have to use it here.
Where
Yes.
is the virtual IP, role? Where you configured that virtual IP?
Virtual IP should be configured by the, we have to give
Automatic.
during the application. In case of application, if you install on top of this one, then in the network level, we need to configure the C names or something. In the C name, the network team, they will configure this primary IP details and secondary IP details, they will configure in the network level. So application will point to that virtual IP. So we should know.
We not did that today, correct? It's we are using only APS. That HANA Studio to make failover other thing. Correct?
Yes, yes. HANA
Yeah.
Studio we have to use it, but now
Yeah.
we don't have any virtual IP, right? Virtual IP means that that is
Yes,
CNAME
yes.
we have to purchase. So
Yes, yes.
that configuration we don't have. So now we have
Mm.
only used the physical names only we have used it here. Physical
So
names.
my
Physical names means whatever the physical names we have, this physical
yeah.
names only we are using now. But in
And
the real time, when you are working for the customers, that time the customer will purchase the virtual IPs and virtual names they will purchase it out, so that the network team they will configure this replication primary to will configure the IPs here in the network level, they will do the configuration. So
and
this
they do
one they will
it in Apache, correct? Apache web server.
not Apache, not the Apache network level. In the routing table level, they will do this configuration here. There is a routing table level, they will do the configuration.
Okay, fine. And what kind of configuration we need to give in SAP server when we install SAP HANA or
So in
anything?
the HADB side, when you are working on that one, you need to provide the virtual host name, DB host name, virtual DB host name means this virtual
Mm.
IP details you have to, and HANA SID, HANA instance number you have to give it.
Right now,
So
if
that
today I will give any IP, then it will be direct, correct, to secondary or primary.
right,
But
right,
it is not will work as a load balancer into the SAP server installation because we
right,
don't have any virtual IP. Yeah, correct. Thank
virtual
you
IP.
very much.
Yes. So we should have the virtual IP. Means network level configuration is very important. So then when you are installing the SAP, then you should give instead of you giving the physical host name, you need to give the virtual host name here. This virtual host name will point to the physical IP. So that you need to provide the virtual host name. So this virtual host name means we need to create it. In case of cloud, in case of cloud sector, you need to use the CNAME concept here. CNAMEs. You need to create it here. This will be chargeable in the cloud side. So we need to create the CNAMEs here. So that the CNAME, then we have to provide the physical host details and everything. So that it will point to the primary IP as well as the secondary IP here. In case of primary IP is not available down or something immediately, it will point to the secondary IP. So applications will connect to the virtual IP only, not the primary IP, right? So then it will point to the secondary also, it will connect it without any data loss. Okay, so that is the configuration about the HANA HSR here.